No, when I was one of the founders of this conference, I actually was one of the creators. So our concept when we created it was to make sure that many Africans come, and they don't just come for a conference and leave, and just we publish a few things out of it. No, the real networking, including doing something together to utilize their talent to create jobs across Africa, to be inventors, to be innovators, to be entrepreneurs, to be creators. That's what we thought we would do. In fact, we did something like that in Kigali.
Exactly, because we've seen a lot of innovation and technological advancement happening in East Africa. Speak to us about how it is that they're able to get some of those initiatives correctly that other African countries can also learn from.
No, they are boosting digital technology, and the economy is growing. For example, there are more mobile phones in Kenya than there are in America now, they say. And if you go to Kigali, it's extraordinary. I mean, it's the cleanest place on this planet. And they all clean, including the president cleans that's how they do it. Everybody does it. They don't, it's criminal to throw dirt on the street. So and now they have what they call Transform Africa Summit. We were invited, I was invited to the Africa Innovation Summit. The main idea is how do we actually now make Africa reach the digital age. And we can't go on as we are on the mineral, agriculture, raw material, value chain.
For sure.
We need to move to the knowledge economy, and we need to advance all this quantum computing, many things like that, exponential technology. We need to get into this new sphere, and we're working on this.
And we heard earlier today that increasing intra-Africa trade is one of the steps that can help us get to this position that you're describing. I mean, your take on the continent's advancements and their commitments to making sure that they do more business with each other.
Yeah, I think they must. For example, inter-Asian trade is over 50%. Inter-European trade is over 70%. Ours hasn't reached 20%. We're still about 15-something percent. It's very, there is no inter-African trade, literally. So it's not good. For example, South Africa, my advice is not for South Africa to link with BRICS or with Europe, with America. It's actually to really link with the rest of Africa. Find ways by which you really connect with the rest of Africa. But I didn't understand why you do not join the continental free trade. I do not understand when we have all the money to set up our own euro, one currency, that we actually allow the guy to be killed and the money to be taken away by these thieves. Why? I mean, why do we continue to do this? Why do we have all this leadership curse? How do we get out of this?
Maybe you can answer that question.
We can't. What I see the states in Africa doing is disintegrating Africa, not integrating it. We're not coming together.
How do we come together then? Yeah.
No, our problem is our SIM card, our hard disk, our software is completely colonial still. We are dominated. We have not cleared our minds. Our education system itself needs to change. We need a paradigm shift where we come to know that huge amount of knowledge was created by our ancestors. It's extraordinary. We don't know it. You say, I'm a professor. I don't know what I should know about all the knowledge that our ancestors left. What didn't they do here? The geometry, the astronomy, on every sphere. Mathematics, binary logic mathematics, in everything. All this internet world you see, the entire mathematics has come from us.
But Prof, I believe you do still see a role for globalization. I mean, because right now in the West we've got increasing talk of protectionism, and we've got many people who are saying that, you know, protecting your economies too much actually risks global growth entirely, which will risk any steps that Africa is trying to take in terms of advancing.
I think for Africa, to be honest with you, we need a time, sometime, how to learn, how to deal with the world and respond to it together. If we do it separately, then even if we globalize, we are divided. We don't want to be divided. If we respond collectively, it is good to join globalization. If we respond individually, it's not good. Let me give you a concrete example. We had the Lagos Plan of Action, the long-term structured transformation in 1980. You know what happened? All the countries that signed in 1981, the World Bank invited them to Washington, D.C., and they had what they call the Berg Report. They signed the Berg Report in 1981. They signed the long-term structural transformation Lagos Plan of Action in 1980. What did the World Bank say? Prisoner's dilemma. When you come, Swaziland, don't tell Malawi what we're going to do. We'll give you some money. So they divide us. So they go and do silly things. They divide Africa. They plan beautifully, beautiful protocols, wonderful statements come out. In conferences, you get these things. They come out nicely. It doesn't mean anything. We have to be more practical. I think Africa, like China did 30 years, they closed themselves and sorted themselves out. Now they are now all over the world. We need a time to come together, learn to know each other, unite with each other, say Africa is one. We're one nation, one country. And all of us, in fact, I want South Africa to be South of Africa, not South Africa. I want even the name to change.